Chris.
You did. You did. You're
right.
growing up quick.
I'm trying to.
Yes.
Give me a second. I'll get there. I promise. So today's topic is, Chris.
Gender roles.
Yes.
Gender roles.
So we know that this spectrum, and we know that's a really broad topic. So we're going to narrow it down to a couple things. We're going to keep it as in a generation gaps that we're going to try to do it in. And
yes,
we can do it as men and women, so, you know what I mean, we don't get so off topic because this thing can go into so many other things. When I'm doing research, Chris, my head was spinning, bro.
And I want to keep it just between the men and women gender roles, just because we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want anyone to stop watching us over some shit that we say.
This is not that type of podcast.
Because we don't filter what we say. Our opinions are our opinions, and I know that podcasts are about opinions, but there's just some things you don't touch on.
Right, and we're going to try to keep it, you know what I mean, nice and friendly.
Yes.
So, because I don't want you guys emailing me and DMing me tomorrow, be like, you know what, Gavin, I can't believe you said that. Well, you know, I'm sorry. So, Chris, I was sitting here and I was looking at some things, and a lot of things blew my mind when it comes to gender roles, because it's hard to figure out who does what nowadays. Now, back in our day, we knew what man and what female did.
Correct.
Our parents showed us what men and females did.
Correct.
Now, it's so broad and it's so different that, you know.
Well, in all honesty, I mean, women have come up.
Right.
Women have been able to do and break through that threshold of men.
Well, you know
and
what?
I'm cool with it.
You know what the thing is, though, Chris? That it's sadly to say that they really had no choice but to do it.
You're right.
They had no choice.
Society has gone, and again, because we can't touch on it, or we don't want to touch on it, society has gone haywire with this. At first, it was great. It was great that, you know, women were becoming as equal in the world, society, whatever you want to put it as. They made it. Then all of a sudden,
it's boom.
It went fucking left field.
Right.
Completely.
You know, now it's, oh, I do this and they do that. A lot of the roles have, you know what I mean, have flipped because of, like I said, the generation gap. You know, like I said, our generation, we were stern that, you know, men are tough, no feelings, we don't cry, we don't do this, we don't do that. And, you know, women are supposed to be nice, soothing, you know what I mean, the comforters and all that stuff.
Yes, the compassionate ones, the caretakers.
Yes.
And it ain't like that no more.
No.
Not one bit. There's more guys crying about everything under God's creation than there ever was.
Oh, you said this and I said that. Man, bro, I get so mad when I see some of these videos now of these men and these songs. And don't get me wrong, you should be able to express your feelings.
Oh, of course.
But, you know, a man is supposed to express something.
But there's an extent.
Right.
And when you publicly start putting it out there, everybody and their grandmother judges you.
Every time.
And now you're no longer a man or whatever because you showed some sort of, you know, compassion for whatever the case may be, or you have softened yourself to be able to publicly cry.
Right.
And it's a shame that you can't do that, but then again, men have always held that in.
Yes, that is a good thing. That's a great.
We fight our battles internally and mentally, and really nobody gets to see it until someone breaks down.
Until we actually go to the part that we are just over and done with it, and you'll see us just flip out. You know what I mean?
And it's either going to be crying or straight rage.
Yes.
You got it's one or the other.
You never get that middle
There's no
ground.
middle ground. And if there is a middle ground, then you know that's
you are
the part we don't want to talk about.
You are a different person. Let's go ahead and we'll leave it at that part, because when you sit here and you think about everybody that wants to say, well, you know, the woman's supposed to do that. And like I said before, the problem is that we have now no boundaries in that. There's no separation.
None.
There's no separation.
There's more men these days cooking and cleaning than there are women.
And you know what? The sad thing about it is, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't have no problems. I don't have no problems with cooking. I don't have no problems with cleaning.
Yeah.
Because I know if I do it, I'm going to get it done the way I want it done.
Yep.
And it saves an argument. It saves a fight. It saves whatever.
It saves all that. But when you sit here and you try to really break it down and you try to understand the whole situation, it's hard because, you know, people nowadays, they're so far gone that you sit here, there's no, like I said, there's no middle ground. So people get upset about the smallest increments of, okay, I had to do this and you had to do that. And bro, let me tell you something. When I was growing up, my dad was the man that sat there and said, look, I'm going to do this, you do that.
Yes.
We're going to get it right. He was the protector.
Yep.
He was nowadays you got more women with more heart than their boyfriends, or their men, or their husbands.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I learned a lot from my grandparents and this gender role when it was my grandparents when they were both alive. My grandfather was 100% in control.
Mm-hmm.
There was my grandmother. I hate to say it this way, but she knew her role.
Right.
She did the cooking, she did the cleaning, she did the healthcare, she did whatever needed to be
done.
Took care of everything. And my grandfather half the time would be on the couch with his beer and watching
he worked all day.
Sports or whatever.
Because he worked all day.
Exactly.
And see, now I'm gonna say this, and I don't want the females to get mad at me, but that was a lot of the game changer, Chris.
Absolutely.
You know, man, because a lot of men this generation, they have gotten lazy. So they don't want to go to work if they don't have to go to work. They're not trying to do all that extra shit that you had to grow up with.
Well, look at the industry that we're in.
Right.
The majority of these damn girls are taking care of
the boyfriend or the husband.
What you're using a safer term than I am, because these guys do absolutely nothing. And they drive their girls to drop them off to work in the girl's car,
and then they bring it back with no gas,
with nothing.
You didn't even bring a lunch.
And what's messed up is those guys are still controlling the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If the girl steps out of line, who is bringing home all the money, she gets her ass beat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times I've had those meetings in my office.
I'm gonna tell you the truth of fact. It's something that my dad always said to me. He said, son, if you let a female get into that role, if she's making all the money, you have nothing to say so. What can you say?
None.
You can't say anything.
But that's if you're in a traditional relationship.
Right.
So we need to talk about traditional relationships. We won't be able to continuously talk about the gentleman's club life that we're talking about, because to be able to reach out to our viewers, it's conventional relationships. So in a conventional relationship, if the man is home doing the female role, or what in society used to be the female role, and the woman is the bread maker, then it's completely socially acceptable. And I don't see any problems with that. Apparently society has grown to be more like that. So there's more career-oriented women these days than there ever was.
Right.
And in all honesty,
you can't blame them.
You can't. And really, the gender roles should be split evenly anyway, because if you really stop and think about it, you can't own a home or even rent an apartment without two incomes.
At this point in time in your life, if you try to do it, you are making...
So you've almost taken the idea of the gender role out of the household, because when you both get home, one person isn't in charge of cleaning, one person isn't in charge of cooking or taking care of the kids. You got to do that shit jointly.
If you're going to make it.
Yeah.
If you don't plan on making it, you know, when you sit here and you put a lot of this stuff together, and you sit here and say, oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and you're going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and this is how it goes, and that's how it goes. No, at this point in time in this society, that's a no-go, bro.
It isn't.
That's a no-go. Nobody's hearing that.
I mean, when you get home, I guess you could still kind of like, hey, can you do this, and I'll do this, and do it. But it really just, when you both get home, y'all just do it.
Right.
You know, and it's so contradictory to how it was back in the day. Because again, when I was being raised by my I don't want to say raised by my grandparents, we lived with my grandparents at first until my parents got their own home. So I mean, I got to see the generations of how people were treated. it's completely night and day difference.
Yes.
And if it changed that drastically in just 2 generations, because my grandparents, I saw the extreme of how it was before.
Mm-hmm.
If it changed this drastically in 2 generations, I'm afraid to see what the hell's going to happen in 2 more generations.
Me too. Me too. Just so you know, because you can't say, oh God, I want to say that so bad, but I can't say it. Oh my God. You know, people, this podcast, when we
This one's a little bit difficult because we're shooting from the hip, and we also know that we're not trying to cross any lines or offend anybody, because we could sit here and just go straight into how people are acting different than the way they were born, but we just can't do that.
We can't do that.
I don't even want to touch that.
I don't want to be put in that situation or that category. So there's a lot of, like, when I sit here and I think about it, because I'm telling you, I see this, like, I watch the videos. So when we decided to do this topic, I went on YouTube and I started watching a lot of the YouTube videos. And I was like, is this for real? Like, remember that one video I put up when the woman said about making a sandwich?
Yes. Yep.
Bro, how many men nowadays go to a work all day long, right? And then want to come home. And after that, they have to go upstairs, go cook, go this. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something.
If you're single,
yeah, it's fine.
That's the way it's supposed to be. And here's where what I just said. When you come home, and let's say that the only way that I traditionally would expect my meals, at least a meal to be made, is if your woman has the opportunity to only work like half-time, part-time, or whatever.
So
or if she's a stay-at-home wife.
Right. If you're in that situation, then yes, I'm sorry. I'm gonna look for something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be.
Yes.
Look, and I'm not saying that you gotta cook it when I get home. God damn it, put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put it in the fridge. Hey, here's a little note, babe. I left you some dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's in the microwave.
But see that, whenever I get back into another relationship or whatever the case may be, I want that traditional way for me to eat. Let's eat together as a family. Okay. Yeah, like I want to do that. Now, if y'all work opposite shifts,
then it's going to be impossible.
Then you know that's the way it is. But if y'all work opposite shifts, and let's say she gets up, she cleans, you know, she cooks the meals and has it ready for you. There's no reason why when you get home, now, what do? Don't sit around and be lazy. Do some laundry. Or
the clothes that she has in the dryer, fold them.
Yeah. Or if you know that she can't get to the shopping part during the day, you use the nighttime, go shop for food. Have it ready in the refrigerator. Have it just work, I guess, in sync with each other.
And that right there is splitting those gender roles.
Yeah, without saying it.
Without saying it.
Yes.
That's no more, oh, you do this and I do, you know what I mean? That, people, is the quickest way to ruin a relationship. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you know, a lot of people grew up seeing the man being, you know what I mean, demanding. Oh, you do, right. I want you to do this. You need to go. No. Those, I'm going to tell you right now, how the world is not, Chris, them days over with, bro.
Absolutely, because women are doing it. Women are now being more demanding of their spouses.
Right.
And I mean, but it's natural because of how society has progressed.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we made them do this. We made them have to step up.
I know I was demanding. I was demanding in my first marriage, and you know, that's the mother of my daughters. In the second marriage, she didn't even work, but I was able to support us all. But I let all of that get to my motherfucking head.
Like we always do.
I let that shit get to my head so quickly, and I got to a point where it seemed like I was just controlling everything. It was just give her the money and she made sure that my finances were made.
It's like when you have, like we all do. We all started in humble beginnings in the beginning when you know, we're making that crazy dough. I'll never let this change me. But then, it's so funny.
It changed me quick as
shit.
It
changed you quick. You sit there and the roles have changed. And now, well, we thought that, you know what, we were going to do this together. Mm-hmm. We were going to figure out this and you were going to figure out your part. Now it's like, well, you don't want to do it? Get out.
Yeah.
Get out. I do it myself.
And I hate to say it because I know she probably doesn't want me to talk about her, but my oldest daughter is financially secure, got her own place, got her own car, got whatever. and I know that she rules her little roost. And I'm not going to say, hey, Angel, I feel bad for you, but that's just the way society has become, because she's a prime example of how a female has risen up, has their own business, makes their own money, has their own place, has their own car. When you bring a relationship together, she doesn't have to be dependent on nobody.
Now, that's a good thing you said that, because if you think about it, he can't get mad because when you let that happen, it happens.
Right.
Now, if you want to be, like I said, I used to tell, okay, I'll go back to this. I used to tell the girls, if that man tells you he doesn't want you to do this, I want you out of the clubs, I don't want you working no more, make enough money to get me out.
Exactly. And if you met them in the club, you kind of got to be lenient on how much you're going to say or do, because unfortunately that's where you met that person.
Right. So,
but if you want them out of the club, you're going to have to make the money to support them to get out of the club.
Saying like with Angel, you know what I mean? I personally don't know your Angel yet. I'm gonna meet you. But when you sit here and you're like, boom, you have to, it's sometimes the focus is not there. So when you sit here and say, okay, she's on it right now. She's on her game. She's doing. If you want things to go more your way, you have to bring in more.
A lot more.
You know what I mean? You gotta be okay. You can't say I do this when I match you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying now?
Because in these days you can't just match somebody and live comfortably.
Right.
Especially if you want them to get out of whatever they're doing. I'm gonna tell you right now, Rihanna will never give up who she is as a person.
She shouldn't.
And she's going to continue doing what she's doing.
And she should.
And she's going to continue to get better. The good thing about society these days, and I'm obviously talking my daughter up because she's the epitome of what a woman should be these days. Mm-hmm. And him coming into it should be proud that you know what, I'm not with somebody who's lazy. I'm not somebody who doesn't hustle.
Oh my God.
And whatever. Yeah, she might make more than he does, or vice versa.
Bro,
I don't know what their finances are.
That is the biggest turn off for me, bro.
Oh yeah.
When you have no hustle, you have this much.
Yep.
You, in this day and age, when it comes to genders, anything, I need you to match my energy.
Absolutely.
I need you to be like, okay, what are we gonna do today? You saw that one post I put up when I said,
you put up so many posts.
I know I do. I have to. So I put one post up and it said, I love waking up in the morning, every morning, because it gives me a chance to take advantage of the situation in hand every morning. And if you can't do that, bro,
no,
you got some serious issues, especially when it comes to these gender roles. Because nowadays, if you are not ahead of the game, or you're not on your game, you're gonna get left behind. Yep. And that's with money, relationships, life in general.
Yep.
Life in general. So you have to go back and sit here and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna be the man of the relationship. God damn it. What are you gonna do to play that role? You see what I'm saying?
And talking about obviously gender roles, especially when you gotta take on both roles. So I have another person in my family, which is my other daughter, who's about to have a baby.
We can't wait for that one.
Yes.
Uncle Gavin's gonna be right there with Grandpa Chris.
My first grandbaby. But she's gonna have to play both roles. And the thing about her is, and I know I speak a lot about my oldest daughter.
Is she strong-willed?
She's not only strong-willed, she is a massive hustler. So you want to talk about getting all her own stuff? That girl works just as hard, if not, I don't want to say harder because them two bust their ass all the time. But she's going to now have to take care of her own little person. Now, obviously, she's going to have both those roles. But there's me and her mother to pick up
that slack.
Another gender role slack.
She has a great support system.
Yes.
And
so
that's just going to make it easier for her.
And that's a big trend in society these days because a lot of women are single with children. And
they have to play both roles.
And I'm going to tell you right now, the quickest way to get blocked and forgotten about, and I'll out you on any comment that you ever post on this thing, the moment you say anything negative about my daughter being a single mom,
look,
don't even bother clicking on our podcast anymore because I will block you.
I'm going to tell you, I'm the nice one of this podcast. Y'all have no idea. I'm the smiling one. Don't let it fool you now. I tell you, I can get grimy just like the next person. And you know what? I tell you this, when me and Chris started to do this, we decided that, you know what, we're no longer just friends. We are brothers in this.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you sit here and you talk about my kids or his kids or anybody that we love and care about,
absolutely.
Guess what? You gotta do with both of us.
Yep.
And I'm silly. I'm the type of guy I'll show up at your house.
And you can hide behind a keyboard. We can out you on this keyboard because we have viewers.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. Anyways, the petty session's over.
Yes, we're done with
but,
that.
you know, you and I got to protect our own. And that's the gender role as well.
Yes.
Our role as fathers.
Because
our role as grandfathers.
Truthfully, people don't understand. We are real fathers. We are not the ones.
Yep. We're not absent.
Even though we are not with the mothers,
yep.
we are here. You know what I'm saying? And that's a gender role that I've learned from my father. Don't get me wrong. And my two oldest ones, I fall a little bit. But I'll tell you this though, Chris. I have been able to take all that, right? And I have made it to the point now with my 3 little girls. I am super dad. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I took, like I said, we talk about genders. I took on the role to make sure if something goes wrong, I'm going to take care of it.
Well, when me and their mom split up, and we were done for good after 17 years, I didn't come to realize till years later how much she picked up and took the bull by the horns and just went being the best mom she could ever be. And you want to talk about a hustler? I say hustling, and that's probably how my daughters got it, because me and my ex-wife, their mom, I'm trying to keep all their names out, but sometimes it doesn't work. She has done nothing but fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight through this world to be where she's at. She's got her own house. She takes care of our daughters perfectly. And I can't even say who could possibly be a stronger woman that has been with me. Now, is my mom a strong ass woman? And my mom is a strong kicking ass woman, even to this day. But their mom has been through so much shit. Like, I'm proud of where she's at now. Mm-hmm. And even though she's still busting her ass with what she does and has to do to just survive, she does it. And we're both there for each other.
Right.
So regardless
you still, even though your kids are grown, you still co-parent.
Yes.
Great.
And we still help each other. So even if it has nothing to do with our kids, if she needs something, I'm there to help. If I need something, she's always there. Again, still works in the gender role. Just because you didn't work out in a marriage, there's absolutely no reason why y'all can't be best of friends.
Right.
We're best of friends. Right. Now, my second wife, let me just leave it. I wasn't swatting a fly either.
No, I'll say it for
that's so wrong.
I'll say it for
That's going to be in Syracuse Magazine.
Yeah. So let's put it this way then, because when you sit here and you look back now at what the world is made there, you know what I mean, there are different transitions to. You know what I mean? Now that you sit here and say, okay, the gender roles have changed, like I said, like I'm continuing to say in this podcast, because the women had to change. The women had to go downstairs and make sure the house is
They were
safe.
forced to become
that man role, that man
to
role.
pick up the man role, because there's so many single women out there, and society makes it so easy for divorces to be divorces.
Yes.
If you don't like the grass that you're currently on, they support you with looking for greener grass.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, there's a lot more single people. Naturally, women had to become much more proficient in what they do. So in turn, like these days, you can turn on the TV, there's a lot of female CEOs.
Yes.
There is a ton of female-owned businesses.
Yes.
And I don't hate none of them.
I don't either.
I don't hate them.
Chris, what do you have over there? You got some things up on your computer.
Well, it was funny because on Google, and when I read this off, tell me if it was more of the old time, because I don't believe it's more new now, because it says education. Education is more On the side of men, for some reason, it says high professional qualifications are important only for the man.
That's not true.
Not anymore. Profession, it said that it was predominantly a man-driven aspect of life, but it still didn't update itself to say that women have done. So I'm starting to see this as more old housework. Of course, naturally it says here women, but
I don't know what you're talking about. You live by yourself. You got to clean your own drawers.
yeah.
You got to clean your own drawers.
And it says that it's primarily the woman's function, but participation of the man in these functions is only partially wanted. I don't know any woman out there that says, no, I want to work all day and come home and clean and do the laundry, and I want to clean. That shit ain't true.
I've never heard of that either.
Decision making, we already know that this was going to say man because that's the way it has always been up until now. I mean, now you have to make different, you got to make decisions together.
Mm-hmm.
And then childcare and education was always on the woman's side. Again, if you're single, that's totally different. But I still see that to this day. I still see when it comes to schools or looking into schools or daycare or VPK or whatever, I've always seen the nurturing side of the mother always want to take care of that. So regardless of how much society changes, I don't see a guy taking that over because even though guys can nurture, a mom is always going to out-nurture anybody.
Right. So let me ask you this. I'm looking this up. How do you feel about the workforce? Because a lot of, if you notice, a lot of things that I was watching on YouTube, a lot of women were saying that they get paid less.
They still do.
They get paid less than what doing the same job that a man can do.
And even though society is changing, nothing changes completely, correctly, and all the way through.
Right.
So yes, did they come from not being able to hold higher positions or really good positions? They've obtained that.
Yes.
Now they got to fight for the compensation that would come with it because of
I'm
men always being
I'm
overcompensated.
gonna tell you, a lot of times people think that why should she get paid more because she's a secretary? Because I'm gonna tell you why.
At the end of the day, look at all the shit she's doing.
Right. Right. She's not just, I'm sorry, they're just not getting coffee anymore. You know what I mean? Secretary, they are here planning your schedule, making sure your shit runs the way it's supposed to run.
Now that position, I see no men in that position. Because even if you had a female CEO,
personal assistants? Is that the new name for secretary? Personal assistant?
or personal assistant, whatever, I still see that as a female role. Even if you have a female CEO or a female boss, I still think they're still choosing a female.
You know why?
I know that there's other people that are usually in those positions, but that's part of this segment that we're not going to get into.
Well, I'll tell you. Let me say. Well, I'm gonna tell you why I feel the way it is. I'm not gonna hit that watch. You know why? Because, like I said, a lot of females, when it comes to that certain thing, they pay more attention to detail.
I was going to say, I'm glad you said it because I was going to say women are so much more thorough in making sure that appointments are set. Your meetings are made, that you have enough pencils or pens or all this shit, supplies, whatever.
It's
women
more,
pay attention to detail, men are just, they're sloppy.
Let's do it. I ain't gonna lie
Sloppy.
to you. Sometimes when I have to have somebody do that part of me because I'm the type of dude let's go. Let's do it. And you know what? You don't plan it out.
Prime example. We're sitting here getting ready for this and we both look at each other and go, Epcot, tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came out of my mouth. You know what I mean? We should be thinking about the podcast. We think about drinking around the world.
Yeah. Now, if we were in relationships, that shit would have probably been planned a week ago.
And and tickets would have been right.
Reservations made. Suntan lotion already packed in somebody's backpack.
We just getting it together 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, we still show up to Epcot going, damn, after 2.5 hours of soaking in the sun, where's the suntan lotion?
Right.
We don't think about that.
And
shit.
yes, I do use a little bit of that too, just to let you guys know.
One pill. So I have to.
So you know, when I sit here and say a lot of things that we sit here and say, it's like, how do you put the things together? So let me say this: how do you mend them back together where you can have the right gender roles? How do you put it back together? How as a society could we put that to, you know, you do this, I do that, you do this, you do that?
I don't know if it can possibly go back to that because society has come so far into dictating a completely new set of rules for gender roles and gender specifically. So like, I don't ever see that there's a possibility of going back unless you find two like old souls that happen to meet each other. That might be about a way to do it. Or if you get somebody like, you know, that, I don't know, like people who are still raised traditionally that don't live in the suburbs or the cities or whatever, you still are going to find that in like when you live out in the country and you're like a farmer or a hardworking person.
Hardworking person.
Those families are still raised that way.
Right. It's like I said, it's some things when it comes to gender roles that, you know, one set of gender cannot do that the other can. I don't care what you say.
No.
You know what I mean? When you lay it down and you say, okay, well, is this person gonna be able to do this or that person gonna do that? But really, no, because I'm gonna tell you, like you just said, a man's attention span and, you know what I mean, coming to dealing with details, shit.
About that short.
Shit. I would be able to sit there and say, okay, well, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
And you know what? I almost welcome the idea of not having to dictate gender roles in a relationship.
I love it.
So like, whenever I decide that I'm wanting to be in another relationship or I find the right person, whatever the case may be.
Let's put it that way. Let's just say find the right person.
Yes. I don't want to sit here and be like, well, you do this and I do that. Let's just do it.
Right. Let's just be where we need to be at, because a lot of times we can't sit here and try to mend something together that's not really meant to be together.
And especially now, that we're age gap relationship guys. We're completely on the flip side of that. We're dating into where they don't want to do any of the shit that we're used to being raised as the men that we were raised at our age.
Let me tell you something, bro. It is the biggest thing that kills me the most when you go into a place and you go into this female's place and it is disgusting. In my mind it's like, why is my house cleaner than yours?
Then that's when you know she's not the right person.
Right.
She might be the right person for somebody else,
but not the right one for
who
them.
lives at home, or doesn't have their own place, or if they do have their own place, they live the exact same way you do. When I walk into somebody's place and I see that it's trashed, I'm not wanting to come in there and clean up that situation.
And you can't be comfortable.
I don't want to retrain that person to change. That's apparently how they want to live. Mm-hmm. So do I want to come in and work that much harder to be like, look, let me clean this place up, or let me do this, or let me change your ways?
Let me show you.
I don't want to do that shit.
Who wants to do that? I'm sorry.
I don't
have it in me anymore.
I don't.
And I feel like, I'm going to tell you straight up, and y'all may not like this, your mama should have trained you better.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how I
Absolutely.
feel. Your mama should have trained you better, because apparently you have no home training.
Because like when I got with my now second ex-wife, the first time she came to my apartment, she swore up and down that there was a female that had just lived there. Mind you, I decorated that whole shit. It was like, bro, I was going crazy on Wayfair. I was going crazy on Pottery Barn. Like, I know how to decorate.
He had Amazon popping up every day.
Bro, I had all kinds of shit, and that's just the way I did. Even my apartment complex management or whatever, anytime they had to come in there for whatever the hell they needed to fix or whatever, they're like, I wish we could show your apartment. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I just will some people make fun of you because you're supposed to be a man and the gender role is not to be a decorator? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I like to live clean.
I like nice things.
I like nice things, and I like to make it look good.
I like nice things. There's nothing wrong with a man liking nice things.
And if you come in super shocked, I'm almost worried if I should even have you back
Yeah,
here.
because that lets me know that you don't know nothing about cleaning. You don't know nothing about living like I'm not even gonna say cleaning. You don't know nothing about living like an adult.
Yeah, you're not ready for that. You're not mature enough.
Yes. And trust me, at this day and age, I'm not hearing all that. Oh, I can make it better. I shouldn't have to worry about you making it better.
No.
It should be already better.
Nope. And like the perfect example is like my parents. My parents have a beautiful home, and my dad works 5 days a week as at his job. He leaves at 6 in the morning, comes back at 5 p.m. Now, even though my mom is needing surgeries and stuff like that, and she's having a hard time getting around, she always finds the willpower to clean. And the meals are always done when he walks in. The laundry's always done. Like, I'm not saying that she knows that that's what she's supposed to do, but because she doesn't work and she's disabled at this point, and my dad is out there struggling every day to keep making sure that that beautiful home stays there, she does those things. And I'm sorry, but I don't see that happening these days anymore. Because gender roles are so disillusioned. They're so like it's
you can't honestly put it together.
It's like a cloudy situation.
It's an awful situation in my book. I don't like the fact that when somebody doesn't know, and I'm trying not to be sexist, but I don't like the fact that when somebody doesn't also know the role that is supposed to be played. Like,
right.
I don't want to have, like you said, nobody wants to be able to teach nobody in a relationship. No.
Your parents were supposed to do that.
And not even teach, don't want to have to teach that in a relationship. Now, in a relationship you have to sometimes you have to teach a person how you like.
But you're still going to have to, not when you meet somebody, they're not going to be exactly like you, the way that you live, whatever. There's still ways to mend those things together. But when you're complete polar opposites of how you live, then why the hell are you wasting your time?
You're wasting mine and yours.
Yeah, because at that point, it's just not going to work.
I tell people all the time, when they come and ask me questions, I say, look here, one thing I cannot stand is people wasting my time.
Yep.
And I say, you know what, money doesn't bother me. You can make money over and over again, but your time, you never get back. You can never get back.
The perfect analogy I have is you could take Febreze and spray the hell out of a dumpster. What's going to happen the next day?
It's going to be a dumpster.
That dumpster is still going to smell like shit.
That's what they
So,
remember when they say you can put lipstick on a pig and
it's always going to be a damn pig.
Always
So I
gonna
mean, you can't take two extremes and try to fix it, because one or the other is still going to show up all the time, and usually it's the trashier side. So like, it's so apparent how bad gender roles have gotten, because like, I'm afraid of the future women. The way that the kids are being raised now, the parents are younger and younger, so they don't have all that experience. They don't have all of that enthusiasm to be a man or be a woman. So like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in the future generations.
The future generations is going to be fucked.
Because it's going to be...
It's going to be ugly. I'm telling you the reason I say that, because we see it every day.
Every single day.
We see it all the time. We sit here and we live it. Like I said, I have to put my head down sometimes when I see. All right, so here's one. So let me give you guys a little pointer real quick. So when you sit here and you have a woman, right, and she is, do guys still open doors? Right, yeah, I knew I was going to get you.
So I obviously was raised in that era. But I have been challenged with that a couple times.
Really, you have.
And they're like, you're not going to open my door? And I'm like, did God quit giving out hands?
So Chris, so let me ask you a question. So if you know she likes that, would you make an effort to do that?
Yes, if I knew she liked it. But if we've never discussed it and it's never crossed any one of our minds or paths or whatever, and the moment you stand outside of my car and you're like,
what are you doing?
you're going to still be...
Stand outside the car.
You're going to see that car start going like this in reverse. And where are you going? God provided you. Open the door. Get in.
So, ladies, just to let you know, if you're dealing with Chris, you need to tell him.
Open your own damn door.
Either you're gonna tell him that you like that, or you're gonna open your damn door.
Or you know what? I'll go one further. I'll pay for that pop feature, so when I'm sitting in my driver's seat, I can just hit a button and it'll pop open for you. And there you go. You didn't have to touch the fucking door handle.
Get it.
But you're gonna get left.
Get it? So
I'm sorry.
basically, he's telling you to get in and shut up.
But what if you're the breadwinner and I'm not the breadwinner? Now all of a sudden I'm the passenger princess. Are you gonna open the motherfucking door for me?
No. You just make me joke. I was about to say the same thing. Does the roles reverse now?
Do they?
That's what that see.
I have a
what
feeling
we're
I'm gonna
at.
get left wherever the fuck I'm at.
Right, that's what I'm feeling. I'm so glad you said that. It's like, okay, so let me ask you this thing. So, how do you feel about the man eating before anybody? Should be served before
Man,
anybody?
that shit's,
But that's a gender role.
it might be, but I don't believe in none of that crap.
I don't either. I'm glad you said that because I feel if you're going to eat, you better eat.
Women are hungry these days. They're hungrier.
And a lot of them work, I'm telling you, a lot of these women are working jobs.
As a matter of fact, you each have your own plates, but for some fucking reason, they still want to go on your plate and grab some shit.
Every time. Let me taste that.
You have the same shit on your plate.
Isn't that not crazy? You cook the same food.
Or, let's say she's at the your home apartment, whatever the hell y'all live in. Hey, I'm gonna go grab me a bite to eat. You want anything? You want to bring it back? And you no, I'm good. You bring your shit back and you start eating it. Now they start picking out your shit.
Where's mine at?
Where's mine at? Bitch. You know what?
Is at the stove, bitch.
Can you pack your stuff up and send your sister over?
Yes, because you are awful in life. And if you don't have a sister, call your mammy.
Yeah, at least I got a daughter that's 20 years old. She's gonna hate me for saying this next comment, but at least I can hit her up and say, hey, send me one of your friends.
And now y'all see what I did with the. So y'all think I'm
Bro, I can already see my daughter's face right now when she watches this. She's gonna be
Cringing.
like, I can't believe he went there.
Do you guys see what I deal with on a daily basis? Y'all don't understand. I talk to this man every day. And I deal with this every day. He says this, blows my mind sometimes. I be sitting here like, what did you just say?
Did he really just go there?
And like I said, we'll be out in public. I'll be like, well, he said it. So I'm glad you said that because, you know, that's another gender role, bro.
Yeah.
That's another gender role. Y'all are not. Are y'all picking up what we're laying down here? Like we're giving you the game.
Yeah.
It may not sound like it, but we're giving you the game. Like we said, men. If you want to be the head of the household, guess what? You have to act like it.
Absolutely.
You have to act.
You
like
have to bring a lot more to the table than you used to have to in the past. Because a woman is very quick in this society to be able to gain all her own shit. She has her own momentum, and she can bring just as much or more to the table than a man these
I'm
days.
telling you, sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. People don't realize the government lets the woman bring a lot more to the table than what she used to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, what I mean about that is this. You know, the government gives women a lot of assistance, and I don't mind that. You know, people
Oh,
need help.
I see what you're going.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? If you want to be that man to be okay, I'm sorry, you can't live in her house that the government gave her and then try to put shit down.
No.
You can't be over here getting mad because there's nothing in the kitchen to eat because the government gave it to you. You have to be that man. You have to be that man to sit here and say, well, God damn it, yes, I'm going to take care of this. Yes, I got this. You know, people don't realize when it comes to gender roles, a lot of people want to hear. Females like to hear that. Men like to hear that. I got you.
Yes.
Don't worry, I don't have it,
Men
I
now
got you.
are more acceptant of I got you than they were before because egos aren't as
Let me tell you something.
intense as they were
Let me
back
tell you
then.
something, bro. When a female tells me, I said something to me about when we go out to eat and the bill comes and she grabs it, bro.
At least you've had that happen.
Yeah, I've had that. Now, well, no, my
waiting to see.
wife was that way. My so-and-so wasn't. Leave it at that. But what I deal with now is it's sometimes I gotta try to
Pry it
catch
out
her.
of her
Yeah,
hand,
I gotta catch her before she does.
See, that's a good thing because that's somebody who has very good qualities.
Right.
And you want to be a part of that because when you surround yourself with positivity, you surround yourself with good qualities, you're going to inadvertently start showing them
I
yourself.
mean, get up, cook. Oh, babe, you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. What you gonna make? I'm gonna go ahead and cook you something right now. You know what I mean? And people don't really. And when you sit here and think about it, like, damn, that is something that I'm not used to.
Yeah, I would be shocked. A friend of mine the other day came and saw me at the club, and he's been going through, his little play or whatever, because he was in a relationship for 14 years and it ended, whatever. So he started doing his playing with the younger girls, whatever.
How's it working out for him?
Now it's working out perfect because he met a female from this side of the bay, out here in Pinellas. She is a full-blown doctor.
Oh.
And the point I'm getting at, she sent him roses.
She sent him flowers.
She sent him roses to his house.
Wow.
And
I never
he told me that story. A week later, he said, I'm not playing with nobody. I deleted everybody. I'm not seeing the same people I was seeing. I cut them completely off because that woman shocked the shit out of him with roses. He's like, that is, all my attention is going there now because that's not something that happens.
It doesn't.
That's a major gender role flip.
That's a big gender role flip.
Now, have I had something like that happen? I did. Only because at the time, we were trying to get back together.
So what's
this last one. So, I don't remember if it was Christmas or my birthday, I come home to the house that we shared, and she's living up north, and there's a stuffed animal and a gift for me, and I can't remember what the holiday or whatever the occasion was, but I was shocked.
It was probably Kwanzaa.
But I don't know if that's more of a, we're just feeling bad for each other, so we're sending each other random shit or whatever. With his situation, it was a woman who's so into their new dating relationship, whatever you want to call it, that receiving of flowers is a lot more of a special occasion than when you're fighting or you're arguing and you receive a gift.
I gotta say something to him, brother. You have a good one. You made the right decision on not playing around anymore.
Yep.
Keep it. Don't let nobody discourage you away from it.
That's what I told him. I was like, bro, that type of stuff doesn't happen these days. The parents are wealthy enough where they put her through all 8 years or whatever it is to become a doctor, paid every single school bill, and she's now her own person who can afford her own everything, and she's 26 years old, full-blown doctor. Yes. So that means straight out of high school, straight into college, straight into internship, became a doctor.
Did you guys just hear the silence that was in my voice?
Because it doesn't happen every day.
You know how long you gotta be an intern?
Yeah.
To become to do the rounds in the hours.
And she's done it all. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. You want to talk about a gender role flip. Before that would always be like a guy. And I'm not saying in hospitals kind of share both the same things, but you're seeing a lot more women pop up everywhere. Law enforcement, firefighters. I mean, those two things were always predominantly men. And now you're starting to see a lot more lieutenants and sergeants, corporals, all the way up.
And you know, a lot of them females had to go through hell to get to there.
Absolutely.
Had to go through hell and that because, like I said, hell, it's not easy to climb the ladder in any type of business or your job. But also to do it in that type of line of work when that is a male dominant thing.
Definitely. Yep.
Think about it, bro. Who does that?
And now, if you start watching sports, I've been noticing more and more female referees popping up.
I don't even want to talk about gender roles in sports, bro.
Well, we're not going to go there, but
Yeah, 'cause that,
at least you know that what always, that used to be always males. Always, the referees, if you ever paid attention, were always men. Now you see a lot more women popping up everywhere. So it's good because they're taking a lot of the predominant positions.
as they should, a lot of them should. A lot of them are
Newscasters,
Yes. Not just newscasters, but anchors.
anchors. Yep.
Anchors. People don't know there's a difference between the two. So,
I mean, they already made it to president. I mean, she's the president. She's the president now.
she is basically president now.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Yeah, let's not say anything about that. Because we definitely don't want to go into that road because I tell you, it gets ugly down there. That's a rabbit hole, man.
A massive.
That's a rabbit hole. And I'm not prepared to go down
YouTube's probably going to be like, blurp on that part.
there. So, we're almost at the end of this thing, right? And I feel, so we'll go ahead and give some pointers. And then I got something else I want to say too at the very end of the show. Let's get to the points, man. So, guys, if you want to be the male dominant role and to play that, you have to be that.
Yes.
All the way. There's no, look, I always tell people all the time, there's no such thing as a halfway crook. You have to either be 10 toes into it. I move to the side because these ladies now, they're not waiting on you.
No.
They used to wait and be like, oh, maybe he'll be. No, they're like, he don't want to step up. Next.
Yep.
And
And the thing about society today is there's so many next.
Yep. Can you get mad at them?
No.
You have to be. You did it to yourself because you made yourself.
You got to stop and think. If you're a female that has everything that you need, you're living beyond comfortable because you have your own money, your own place, your own car, everything. Do you really want to slide a man in there that
can potentially fuck shit up?
is in between jobs, may not have his own car?
Yep.
You ask him what his 5-year plan is, and he's
You
like,
look at 5 what?
I
Some people don't even know what that
don't even know what I'm doing in the
means.
next 5 days.
They
You
know
don't want to
what that
ruin.
means.
You don't want to ruin what you have going on because you work so hard to get there. And
I'm not
you're
mad at
seeing
them, bro.
more and more women these days that have everything,
Bro, I'm not mad at these women.
and men are taking advantage of that because they're smooth, they can talk, they can do whatever. They got that game,
They're quick on their feet, one.
and they're quick to slide right up into a woman's fucking, her life, her place, her
And
car,
fuck
her
it up.
finances, and
fuck it
then
up.
the girls start, in this society, it takes 2 incomes. So when she's trying to take care of you too, she's starting to lose a lot of
And
herself.
Like I said, because a lot of times females get that game told to them, and they get comfortable.
Oh yes, I got comfortable, as you can tell.
I got a little comfortable too, guys. I got a little comfortable too.
Now I'm trying to shake the box up, trying to figure out how to get out of being uncomfortable.
Comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's for the men. Women, if you want to, a lot of you don't want to let go of that male dominance. But if you have a man in your life, and he's a provider, and he wants to do all this and say all this, and he wants to be that guy that you need in your life, and he can do it, let him do it.
Oh yeah. And I'm not saying if you have somebody who isn't bringing as much to the table as you do, but you happen to have a very good relationship or whatever, help each other grow then from that point.
Right.
We're not saying, hey, break up with that person because the next one's going to be better. The next one might have a lot to bring to the table,
But he can be a piece of shit.
but he might end up slapping you around or controlling you. Now you no longer have your own social media. You can't go out to the store because
he
he doesn't trust you or whatever. If you've got a guy that has all of those traits and treats you perfectly, maybe not perfectly, but really good, but isn't the strongest in the career field or whatever the case may be, work with him. Work with each other to become better and better. I believe that the gender roles these days, once they do meet up and they communicate, like I'll tell you in every podcast we could possibly do, whether it's relationship or not,
Communication's key, people.
if you communicate, it's always going to be a good thing. Now, do I see the gender roles these days communicating more than they did when our parents were young or our grandparents? They're not. But if people would understand half the bullshit you go through can really go away if you just communicate, then your gender roles are going to be easy. Because then are already going to vibe off of each other as to what needs to be done. It's easier when you come home together from working all day and you just naturally take to doing what you got to do.
Yeah, and then remember when you do that too, people, don't just isolate yourself either.
No.
You know what I mean? If you got somebody at the house with you, you know what I mean? You guys sit and do something together. That's your time to do it.
Yeah.
That's the time that you can sit back and say, you know what, man? Let's watch a movie. You ain't got to go nowhere. You don't have to go nowhere. But a lot of women, they just want to be sit there, and you know, it's sad to say, you get a lot of women just want to sit there and be held up, be sitting there up under you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's better than having that female say, hey, me and the girls are going out for happy hour.
And you're there by yourself.
Right.
See, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
But whatever. And on the flip side,
I'm gonna let you go though.
On the flip side, I don't sit there and want to be like, oh, I'm going to go with the guys. I'm going to go with the guys.
Right.
Once I make a decision to be with you, you are one of the guys.
Yes,
you're coming with me.
You come with me. Come on, let's go.
You and I are prime examples of that. Our past two relationships, we were always together. We always did shit together.
Yep.
Just like tomorrow, you'll be with her and I'll be there. I mean, we're
always been that.
We don't ever tell each other, oh, no, it's a guy thing, it's a guy thing. There's no fucking such thing as a guy thing.
So, that's our spiel on gender roles. Now, I have something else to say. Now, I want you guys to, this is for the guys. So, this weekend, Father's Day is coming up.
We get forgotten. Always.
Always. Now, I'm going to say something to you guys, and I want you to take it in. I want you to hold it down. I want you to understand it. First of all, you need to understand that vagina is not a gift.
No. Not one bit.
So, only reason,
that's what made us fathers to begin with.
Right. So the only reason she knows to give it to you like that for a gift is because you accept it. Let me tell you something. If you going out there and you buying these Fendi bags and you going to buy all this nice stuff for her, God damn it, she need to buy the same nice stuff
I don't
for
want.
you.
I don't want a damn tie. I don't want no motherfucking socks. I don't need no underwear.
Keep all that shit.
Put some thought into a gift.
So this Father's Day, let me tell you, ladies. Stop playing around. Don't be sitting here talking about come on in the room and you're going to give them that same old tired pussy you gave them yesterday. That's not a gift.
No.
So, guys, if you accept that as a gift, first of all, you're lame and you need to smack yourself in the mouth.
And you're no longer invited to Father's Day.
You can't come to the barbecue. All right? So, like I said, this is another great podcast. We are out of here. We are also, I don't want to forget the drop, because I know you was looking at me like I was going to forget it. Once again, we are sitting here in the beautiful Cozy Lounge. It is on West Bay, 198 West Bay Drive. The biggest humidor in the Largo area. Come down, plenty of seating. Come on in. We're going to take very good care of you. And go ahead.
Make sure that you go to all your social media, whether you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, Twitter, Snap. I mean, I could just keep going. YouTube. Please like, follow, subscribe, share, comment. Anything you could possibly do to support us. It's so greatly appreciated because we definitely appreciate you guys taking time out every Monday to watch our podcast. We appreciate it, and we can't do this without you. And we just love everything that you're giving to us. And soon we're going to have some merchandising that's going to be coming out. We'll have a store up and available. And be some good prices, and we'll do some giveaways and things of that nature. But again, thank you guys very much.
So once again, like I said, always listen to the podcast that appreciates you, not the one that tolerates you. We're out of here, people.
We're out of here, guys. God bless.